What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up with it, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Thank y'all for being in here on this afternoon. We are going to, this is going to be the kickoff, y'all, for this channel. Just so y'all know, we will be getting the transcripts. Diva has already started, so between me and Diva, we're going to work together between both our pages to raise the money to make sure that we are on top of things. We're going to try to get them expedited so that we can get them, if not the next day, or same day, if that is a possible option. As y'all know, I'm very transparent over here on what you all donate, how much we need, and all of that. So me and Diva talked earlier, so we can be working together on my channel and hers, that you can donate to either one of our channels to go towards the transcripts. Now, if you want a copy, hold on, let me make this so y'all can see it clearer. Hold on. If you want a copy, just like last year, as you know, I will send you a copy. All you have to do is make sure your email address is included with your donation towards the transcripts. Make sure your email is included. Okay? A lot of y'all emails I still have. However, still send it anyway. Okay? Let me just make sure y'all can see this. Hold on, y'all. I didn't know this orange was so hard to see. If it's a personal donation for me, put for you. So if you want a copy of the transcripts with your donation, make sure you add your email address to that and put in there for transcripts. If it's personal donation, just put for you. As soon as I get the transcripts, I will send you a copy even before I read them. So you will know what's going on before you even come on here to hear them read. There are some people that like to read them for themselves before I read them, and that's totally fine. Okay. At the bottom, you can see where you can donate to $ this blessed house, or you can do, PayPal. Okay. Or you can do PayPal. And that's what it is. But yes, I know how important it was last time for people. People wanted their copies. I'm very, y'all know I'm on it. Whenever I get it, I send it. Y'all will be good. Okay. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody good? Let me see who up in here. Who's up in here? Sonia Davis, what's up? Angela Duncan, hello. Antrice Figures, hello. Amber Johnson, what's good? West Coast Bells, hello. Cherie Harris, hello. Rockin' with the Truth, what's good? Latrice B, what's good? T-Bound 1, Nunya, Just V, Tears. Let me see. LaShawn Davis, hello. How are you? Finally caught it, ready for work. Thank you for coming in. Karen Johnson, hello. Thomas Reese, hello. Love is Fair, what's up, my brother? I'm a Queen, hello. Karen A, hello. Honey, hello. Marty Blackfly, hello. How are you? What's up, honey? How are you? What's up, shorty? Shouty, what's good? Let me see. Gospel Glam, hello. K-Love 92, hello. Daughter of the Most High, hello. Man, thank y'all for coming up in here. So, what I wanted to do, y'all, is just kind of give y'all just a update, what we're about to walk into. Okay, it is going to be a battle. This is not going to be easy. Okay. In my personal opinion, I feel like Bonjean is a very good lawyer. I feel like she's the best lawyer that R. Kelly could have got for this case. I feel like Milton Brown has a very good lawyer. And also I feel like Daryl McDavid have very good lawyers. I don't think, yes, there is a lot of evidence. It's going to be interesting to see how this, goes back and forth, with it pretty much being three against the government, right? So it's kind of like a jumping, because all three of them need to try to find a way to work together to try to get their people off. Now, a lot of people are saying that they think it's going to be a lot of people getting thrown under the bus. What's up, Linez Butte? How are you? Long time no see. Thanks for coming over. It's going to be a lot of people getting thrown up under the bus, a lot of snitching going on. We're going to be here for it, every single piece of it. So once we start getting the transcripts in, I am going to make sure that this channel is very organized. I will have my amazing readers. We're going to do it like we did it last year, but we're going to do it better. Okay. There'll be a playlist for people who, want to be able to go back to watch, from day 1, day 2, day 3. It will be in a specific playlist so that you don't miss a beat. You won't miss a beat, okay? So just as a reminder, everyone that donates to the transcripts, if you want a copy, make sure you put in the Cash App or the PayPal or the Zelle. Put in there for transcripts and put your email address in there. So when I see that for transcripts, I am going to email you everything. I'm not the type that just give you, oh, you only did one donation for one day. No, I'm going to, as y'all continue to donate and we get them, I'll send you all. I'm not stingy like that. Once they're paid for, I feel like they paid for. Okay. But I do love to reward people who actually do invest in helping us to make this thing happen. Okay. So let's get to this, y'all. This is kind of what I wanted to get on with. I want to see this. I saw this come up and I wanted us to kind of watch it together. So let me share this here. Matter of fact, no, let me go on over here. Let's see what they're saying over here in the Twitterverse. What are they saying over here in the Twitterverse? Hold on one moment. Let me share this with y'all so y'all can see. Okay, so this lady here, Megan Creepow, she seems to be with the Chicago Sun-Times. I was told to follow her because she's really on point with a lot of this here. Okay, so I want to make sure that we are all on point. What's going on? So this is her. Y'all can follow her if you want to. Her name is Megan Creepow. Right, follow this lady. There's a couple of other people too that I was, asked to follow because they are on point. However, this was put out 4 hours ago. It says, "Good morning from Dirkston U.S. Courthouse. It's day 2 of R. Kelly's second federal trial, and jury selection is set to resume. If all goes well, they may even impanel an actual jury today. Follow me at J Metro." Okay, I know that's Mr. Meisner. Okay, that's his handle. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what they're talking about. Let me pull this here. All right, here it is. So this is, let's go ahead and read what they are saying. So it says, jury expected to be impaneled Tuesday in R. Kelly's federal trial as judge tries to weed out potential biases. Okay, so it says here, the jury will decide R. Kelly's fate on federal charges stemming from the alleged sexual abuse of minors is expected to be impaneled in a Chicago courtroom on Tuesday after more questioning from the judge the ability of potential jurors to remain impartial. Let me pull up my camera, y'all, so y'all can put myself over here. Here we go. All right. So U.S. District Court Judge Harry Lindenweber is scheduled to resume jury selection in the case at 10 a.m. in large ceremonial courtroom at Dirkston U.S. Courthouse. The judge questioned a total of 63 potential jurors on Monday. So Monday, they spoke to 63 jurors, okay, asking each person individually about what they know about the indicted R&B star and the allegations against him and his 2 co-defendants. So they really wanted to know how much information these jurors already knew about this case. Are they subscribers? Are they people who sit on YouTube and know everything that's going on? What's up, Ruby? What up, Dom K? Hey, Sim Red, how you doing? What's going on? So it says here, at the end of the day, a total of 34 jurors had made it past the first round of questioning, about 6 shy of where the judge said he wanted to be before moving on to the next phase, which will involve prosecutors and defense attorneys using um, peremptory strikes to get the final panel of 12 regular jurors and 6 alternates. Opening statements in this case would then follow, most likely on Wednesday. Kelly, 55, was charged with child pornography and obstruction of justice in a 2019 indictment alleging that he conspired with others to rig his Cook County trial years ago by paying off a teenage girl whom he sexually assaulted on the now infamous videotape. Okay? So it says here that also facing charge are Kelly's former business manager, his co-defendants, which are Daryl McDavid, and the other associate, Milton June Brown, who, according to the indictment, schemed to buy back incriminating sex tapes that had been taken from Kelly's collection and hid for years, and hide years of alleged sexual abuse of underage girls. Okay, get my water. All right. It says attorneys for McDavid filed a motion late Monday arguing that the indictment should be thrown out altogether, saying that prosecutors waited inexcusable and unnecessary amount of time to bring charges. In the decades since the alleged conduct occurred, the file states key witnesses who could help McDavid's case have died. And important evidence related to Kelly's 2008 trial in Cook County State Court were destroyed after the standard 70 years had passed, McDavid's attorneys argue. Wow. Okay. Let me read that one more time. In the decades since the alleged conduct occurred, the filing states key witnesses who could help McDavid's case have died. The important evidence related to Kelly's 2008 Cook County State Court were destroyed after the standard 7 years had passed. Okay? That's what McDavid's attorneys argue. It says the federal attorneys have known. Let me take this down real quick, y'all. The federal authorities have known about the central videotape for years and about at least one agreement to try to take back another incriminating tape, the filing alleges. Prosecutors nothing while being fully aware and allegations and possessing evidence for decades. As a result, they let substantial pieces of evidence get lost to time, the filings states. Shortly before court began Monday, Kelly, dressed in a gray suit and a tan shirt, was escorted to the courtroom by deputy U.S. Marshals and took his seat at a crowded defense table, leaning over at times to whisper through a face covering to his attorneys. Kelly, who has been in federal custody since July of 2019 arrest, gave a nod and a slight wave to the jury pool as his attorney introduced him. Potential jurors' identities are being shielded from the public during the proceedings, and very little was revealed about them as Lenny Weber asked each person to clarify answers they gave on a written questionnaire. Of the 63 questioned individually by judge after nearly 6 hours, a total of 29 people were dismissed. Dang! Woo! Most of whom reported they would have trouble being impartial to Kelly or his co-defendants. Man. Okay. It says some judges faced with the prospective juror who is iffy about their neutrality will try to rehabilitate them, reminding them of their civic duty to be fair and asking pointedly if they can fulfill that obligation. But Leonard Webber on Monday dismissed everyone who expressed even the tiniest doubts about their impartiality. So I don't want to hear any of the R. Kelly people, any of the R. Kelly supporters saying that Leonard Webber is being unfair. Hey, Candy, what's going on? Hey, Aisha, how you doing? I don't want to hear nobody. Hey, April Showers. Hey, Peter. I don't want to hear nobody saying that he's being unfair, because this man on day one got rid of everybody. And I mean everybody who said anything that was like, I don't know if I can be fair. You're out. Well, I did see the documentary. You're out. Well, I have seen an R before. You're out. Do you know anybody named Kelly? Yeah, my auntie's name is. You're out. I mean, he won't play. He is being very fair in this situation. So just because something don't go your way, I don't want to hear y'all saying, they set R. Kelly up. He ain't fair. Listen, you see it right now. The man is being extremely fair. Okay? And he's like, 85? This man has not been, he's not brand new to this. He has been around the block over and over and over again. What up, Levi? What up, bro? He's been around the block. So Judge Lenny is being very, very fair. Okay? Very fair. Here we go. So it says, thinking about the case and the charges over the weekend, I no longer firmly believe that I can be unbiased, one woman said. At the offset of questioning, Leonard Webber promptly excused her. So this man not playing. He's trying to make sure that the defense can say, you know what, that was fair. Okay? It says another woman said that she went to Taekwondo classes with Kelly's children years ago, and the experience might keep her from being unbiased. Another woman said her job involves advocating for children. She said, I would do my best to be fair, be impartial. My only concern would be the defensiveness side kicking in. Perhaps, she said before Leonard Webber excused her. Much of the questioning revolved around the 2019 Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, which many potential jurors said they had watched or had at least heard of it. Kelly's lead attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, had asked the judge to automatically strike any juror who'd seen the documentary for cause, saying that the idea that they could remain impartial after such exposure is absurd. Okay? Leonard Webber, though, said that he would instead try to drill down on any potential biases through further questioning. As I was telling y'all the other day, it's important to understand that they tried this in the New York trial. They tried to, Bonjean presented a motion that said, hey, you had some jurors up there who had seen or heard of this Surviving R. Kelly and knew about it, so they should have been automatically disqualified. Or anyone who had any type of feelings against, people who have molested children or the P word, anything like that, they should have been denied. It should have been, dismissed. However, some of them were allowed to get on the jury pool, and I feel like they were extremely fair, okay? And the reason why I say that is because the only way that you can, and that was just the law, the way that they were able to excuse them or let them be is if they were allowed to stay if they did not have a personal bias against R. Kelly. For example, how do you feel about R. Kelly? I can't stand the man. He a child molester. He did this to kids and all this kind of stuff. If I get close to him, I'm going to punch him in his eye. Excused. You have a obvious hatred and bias against this man. So I'm not going to let you get up here and try to put in a judgment for this man when his life is on the line, right? Then you got somebody who say, yes, I saw the documentary. However, I can still be fair based on the evidence. Yes, I saw it, a couple of times, but I can still be fair based on the evidence in the case. Okay, you're allowed to stay. So Bonjean is saying that that person right there who said they saw it, but they could still be fair, shouldn't even been given an opportunity. Okay? So what Lennon Weber is saying is, you know what? I don't want to jump the gun just because somebody watched a TV show. Let me see if they have any personal bias first before I dismiss them. Now, if they have a personal bias against this man, then they got to go. Okay? Let's read on. It says on Monday, one woman said that she saw all 12 episodes. Damn. She saw all 12 episodes of the series, but insisted it would not affect her ability to be fair, prompting some audible snickers from a few Kelly supporters watching in the courtroom. I wonder which ones was out there snickering. I can only imagine what R. Kelly supporters was out there snickering when this juror said that they watched all 12 episodes of the series, but insisted that they would not affect their ability to be fair. I would really like to know. Who did that. Y'all hold one moment. What's up, man? All right, I'm back, y'all. Okay, so that's what's going on. Another prospective juror said he watched part of an episode with his wife, but didn't remember anything substantive about it. Okay. He says, I think I might have even fallen asleep before the end of it, he said. There you go. Leonard Weber has said that he wanted a winnowing down pool of at least 40 potential jurors before moving to peremptory strike phase. Turn the air on. Okay. The trial is Kelly's first criminal case to go before a jury in his hometown since his stunning acquittal 14 years ago in the Cook County case. Kelly faces a total of 13 counts, including production of child pornography, conspiracy to produce child pornography, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Some of the counts carry a mandatory minimum of 10 years behind bars if convicted, while others have ranges from 5 to 20 years in prison. Prosecutors are also seeking a personal money forfeiture of $1.5 million. Okay? Regardless of the outcome, Kelly is still facing decades in prison. In June, he was sentenced to 30 years on federal racketeering charges brought in New York. He is appealing both the jury's verdict and the sentence in that case. Okay? So that's an update kind of from the Chicago Sun-Times. Now, this here was Bonjean's interview that she had after day one. Let's watch it. Let me see if y'all can hear it. Hold on.
Sure, no problem. Thank you. All right. So do you want me to make a little statement and we can follow up? Okay. Yeah, sure. My name's Jennifer Bonjean. I'm with my colleagues, Attorney Ashley Cohen and Attorney Diane O'Connell. My law firm is the Bonjean Law Group, and we represent R. Kelly, Robert S. Kelly. And today we had our first day of jury selection. For any of you who were in the courtroom, you could see it's rather difficult to find people who have not received information, heard information about R. Kelly, and that really presents a challenge for us to try to get fair and impartial jurors, because it's not just a matter of people wanting to be fair and believing they can be fair. It's whether you're capable of being fair and non-biased, given what you've heard and what's in your brain, and whether you can actually listen to the evidence that comes from the witness stand untainted by the lens that you may be looking through it with because you've had so much exposure to pretrial publicity, or in this case, a very, very popular documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, which I think is presenting a problem and will continue to present a problem. So that is our primary focus right now, is trying to get that fair jury. We don't have a jury yet, but we're well through the process.
Talk a little bit more about that docuseries. You asked the judge essentially to strike anybody who'd seen any part of it. He didn't agree with that, but why did you ask that?
Because there are rare circumstances in the law, Seventh Circuit acknowledges it, where we say, that the courts say, that a juror is presumed biased, no matter what he or she says. And that doesn't mean because they're lying or because they are being misleading purposely. It's just that there's too great a risk that a juror would not be able to listen to the evidence coming through into the courtroom without considering matters that they've heard outside the courtroom. If someone has seen all 6 episodes of Surviving R. Kelly, which, by the way, includes testimonials and interviews with people who are going to take the stand, as a matter of common sense, I'm sure there's been plenty of studies done on it. It would be so difficult. It would be impossible to separate out what did I hear during the documentary versus what am I hearing now? And did you actually draw some type of impression at the time you saw this person speak on TV, which, by the way, they would not have been subject to any cross-examination. They would not have had their story challenged in any way. Now they're hitting the stand. So I think it's impossible. I think this is a rare case where bias must be presumed, and that is why I asked the court to strike for cause any potential juror who had seen the documentary, any portion of the documentary. He did not agree, and as a result, it may be the case that we have no choice, that we will have jurors on our jury that have seen it, and that to me is reversible error and problematic. But we'll see. We don't have a jury yet, so we're gonna hope for the best still.
And what do you think? What is your count so far? More than 50 potential jurors, and more than 30 have been excused.
So we questioned, I think, 65 today. There is now a pool of jurors who are still potential jurors. They're not the jurors. And I think we're at about 33 or something of that nature. So we're getting there. And then once we get a pool, then we'll be in the world of exercising peremptory challenges. And then it looks like we will have a jury tomorrow.
And you've been responding to this question, but the bottom line is, what do you think this is going to mean for your clients? So many people have seen that documentary and know about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that there were people that came with the information about the New York case. They then announced it in a courtroom for anybody who hadn't heard about it, now does know about it. So our position is we have a tainted jury pool. We start with a tainted jury pool to some degree. In any high-profile case, there is that potential. But there are these unique cases in history. Shepard versus Maxwell is a United States Supreme Court case that goes way back. So there are these unique cases, and this is going to be one of them that we aren't going to get what the Constitution demands, which is a fair and impartial jury. But at least there is that risk that we will not get that because of the pretrial publicity that they've been exposed to. Again, and I want to make this very clear, this is not even a matter of people being bad or being untruthful or misleading. It's just people have an instinct to want to believe they can be fair no matter what they've heard. I'm a fair person, but we are human beings, and there is bias that we have, and we're not always in touch with it. And it's not something you can predict until you're in the middle of a trial when it's too late. Oh, I remember that girl. She testified or gave an interview in the Surviving R. Kelly series. I really liked her. What, you know, something along those lines. Those bells could go off, and that is the thing that we should be guarding against. But unfortunately, again, I have great respect for Judge Leinenweber. He disagreed with our position on that, but we've made our record, and that's all we can do.
You mentioned that the jury's already put up in your conviction.
Yeah.
Throughout this process. So is the jury already tainted?
Yes.
You can't leave that out.
No, I mean, so as a general proposition, you know, juries aren't supposed to know about prior convictions or prior bad acts unless someone takes the stand. And of course, Mr. Kelly may still testify, but they are privy to information that they otherwise would not have been privy to. And that's negative information. The fact that he's previously been convicted in another jurisdiction is a data point that this jury members of this jury are going to have knowledge about. And how can we be assured that they will not take that into account when assessing the evidence in this case? I don't know that we can. So I think we start off in a really bad place because of that. But again, we're going to continue to fight and hope that this jury follows the law and will do their best to put that stuff aside. But it is not an enviable position, and it puts the government at a significant advantage. So I hope that answers your question.
How's Robert? He seems engaged in the process.
He is. He is engaged in the process. He said it was much better than the New York case because in New York they were actually doing physical sidebars, and he really wasn't able to participate to the degree he would have liked to. And really, jury selection is one of those things where the client should be the most active. It's a jury of his peers that he is choosing, and I feel very strongly that he should be part of that, and he is. He can hear what's going on. He's obviously being privy to our conversations. We're chatting, and we're talking about the process. And I am glad he's able to participate. As you know, he has significant literacy issues, so it's difficult for him to quickly read a questionnaire. So a lot of it has to be orally explained to him. It slows the process down a little bit, but we're making it through.
How is his health? It's been, 3 years since I saw him here in Chicago before he was arrested. He looks like he's aged quite a bit, maybe put on some weight.
Yeah, life is hard in prison and jail. The medical care is not great. He does have medical issues. I think it's a matter of public record. Certainly at sentencing, he's diabetic. He has an anxiety disorder. He was assaulted in Chicago at the MCC. So he has significant challenges. It's very stressful. His information was stolen by a BOP officer. His email, it was reported on, but a BOP officer that is not even accurate, actually accessed with her credentials and gained access to his personal information, his phone calls. So, and this is really difficult to be able to be in custody, not knowing whether any of your privacy rights are being honored. It's stressful. It's hard to, whatever your feelings are about him, he is entitled to be able to communicate with his lawyers, free of fear that it's going to be recorded, free of fear that information will be stolen and sold or shared with YouTube bloggers. He has unique challenges in custody that other people don't, and it has not been easy, and his health is not great. You're very welcome.
You can give opening statements on Wednesday?
That would be my best
target
guess.
for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Although Judge Leinenweber goes very fast. So.
He likes to take court.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So you can already see pull this up. So you can already see what Jennifer Bonjean is doing. She's already saying we're going into this already with our backs against the wall. We're already going into this with a tainted, biased jury. They haven't even picked the jury yet. She already saying that kind of stuff. So this kind of gives y'all the idea of where they are going to go. No matter what, they are going to say that they had a biased jury. You know? That's just the name of the game, y'all. That is her job, to create reasonable doubt. That is her job, to try to find a way to get her client out of this mess. Okay? Let me see what else came up in here. 3 hours ago, it says, hold on. So I'm just reading y'all some updates. So let me pull myself over here. So Miss Crepeau said that, yeah, I think it's largely logistical, since other cases are scheduled for the same big courtroom where the Kelly case must be held due to COVID restrictions. If this trial goes longer than 4 weeks, it could mess up scheduling for a bunch of other matters. Somebody else says over here that I have tried a number of federal cases before Judge Lennon Weber, and he is always focused on moving things right along. One strength he has is that he keeps trials from getting bogged down by attorneys who waste jurors' time. I wouldn't make much of his offhand remark. Okay, so we already got the idea that this guy, he's not gonna play. He's gonna be on point. Let's see here if there was anything else. Okay, so those are the latest updates, y'all. As far as what's going on here. Now, there was a motion put out today that, as y'all just read, as we just went over, where they are pretty much questioning and saying, hey, they put this. Let me see exactly what that was that they put in here. Hold one moment, y'all. Hold on. Let me do this right quick. Here we go. So is this the one that was put in? Hold on. Let's see. 15th. No, this was not. This came out on the 15th. Okay, hold on. So let me pull this up, y'all. Let me find that motion that was put in today. And let me see something. Give me one moment. Let me go over here. This was McDavid's lawyer who did this. So, McDavid, Illinois court listener. Yes. There we go. Yay. All right, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Motion by McDavid to dismiss pre-indictment delay. To dismiss pre-indictment delay. Okay. So let me buy this. All right. Okay. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. All right. Cannot locate case ID. What? Let's go through Pacer then. That one Pacer. Brown. Okay, so pretty much there was a motion put in by Daryl McDavid to dismiss for pre-indictment delay. This was entered in on yesterday. Link. Let me see why. Let's see. Today. Cannot locate the case. Sam, for some reason, they can't locate the case, y'all. So, if I get it, I will come back on later on and read it. However, let me ask y'all some questions. So, do you all feel as though, based on what you've heard so far, that do you believe that if they allow people on the jury who have seen Surviving R. Kelly, who have been on YouTube, who have been on Facebook, who have been on Twitter, and they have any type of information or any knowledge of this case, that it would taint the jury pool? If you believe it would taint the jury pool, put a Y in the chat for yes. And if you don't think it'll be a tainted jury pool, then put an N in the chat for no. I really want to see what y'all think about this. I really want to see what y'all think. And I'm going to see what the majority of y'all think about this here. I think as long as they ask the right questions. I might have an echo. Hold on, y'all. I think as long as they ask the right questions and they can filter through and say, okay, so Cookie said, yes, it'll be tainted. Marcus Foreman said no. Love is Fast said no. Missy said no. Rockin' said no. Ask the question again. The question is, if they allow people on the jury who have seen Surviving R. Kelly, who have any information about the case or have any type of feeling about R. Kelly, especially surrounding Surviving R. Kelly series, docuseries, do you feel like that would make the jury pool tainted? If you do think it will be a tainted pool, then put a Y in the chat. If you don't think it will be tainted, then put a N in the chat for no. Okay? So that's the question. Y means yes, it will be a tainted jury pool if they know anything about Surviving R. Kelly or saw it or heard about it or saw YouTube channels or follow bloggers and all that kind of stuff. Or N for no, it would not be tainted because you believe they'll ask the right questions. So Wing said no. Okay. Let me try to... y'all, hold on. I think I might be able to find this. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do something. Okay. All right. Let me do this right quick. So I'm looking up motion 271. 271. That's 274. It's 271. Reply. Response to motion 279. Main document. Y'all bear with me. Hold on. Log in. View document. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. All right, let me see what y'all saying. So, all right, so Miss Jerry said, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Atmos. No is my answer. Okay, you don't feel like the pool will be tainted. Okay, Lucy and Max said she feels like it will be tainted. Okay. Jacqueline Jones said no. Daughter Most High said yes, it will be tainted. Okay. Marty McFly, Marty Blackfly said no, it won't be tainted. Cecilia said no. Karen Johnson, no. Just V is in her own world talking about Nutbush. All right. O.J. Simpson had a okay, y'all. Okay, y'all in something. Okay, so no, just be what that super fan. Okay. I say 75-25 chance. Yes. Okay. Okay. Um, he said 70. Don K says 75-25 chance it would be. Okay. Okay. Let's try 274. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find this for y'all. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. Angela Anderson said no. Queen Keith says there are fans who still think he's innocent no matter what they saw. That's true. Let me see. Okay, House of the Princess said no. Don K said, but you can't prove it. Shawty said no. Honey said it's not a yes or a no. It's possible 50-50. His supporters or other viewers who still don't support him, even though they think the doc is lies as well. James Harris says no. Matt Oliver says yes, it'll be tainted. Let me see. Levi for Kelly said truth. All we need is one juror. Remember that. I said that's what I said. Now Levi, you know, in New York, that's all y'all needed was one too. But you know what happened. I don't think it will be necessary, mean that it will automatically be tainted, but I think that there is a possibility that it will be tainted because of that reason. Okay? Linez Butte said no. James, you have a good point there. What did James say? Let me see what James said. James said O.J. Simpson case had a 100 times more news coverage, and all of them were against O.J. Simpson, but he was found not guilty. Okay. Gospel Glam says yes. Okay. She said it will be tainted. Okay. Tom Bella said, good afternoon, admin. Hello. Lesman says there are some people who didn't believe surviving R. Kelly to be a fact, so Boho, work harder. Okay. I said, work harder, Boho. Okay. A2L said yes. Wayne said if someone saw all of the docu episodes, they should be dismissed. But heard about it, that's different. I agree. All right. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. We're gonna run through this real quick, y'all. All right, hold on. I got it. Thank you so much. Let me pull this over here. All right, here we go, y'all. We're going to go ahead and read through this motion that was put in today. Here we go. All right, y'all. So let me pull this up. Let me expound this here. So this right here was a motion to dismiss the indictment for pre-indictment delay. Okay, this was put in by, it looks like McDavid's lawyers. Okay, so let me bring this in so y'all can actually see. There we go. Nice and big so everybody can see. There we go. All right. So it says, now comes the defendant, Daryl McDavid, by and through his undersigned attorneys, Bo B. Brindley and Vadim A. Glosman, in pursuit to Fedar Krim R. Rules 12 and 48 and the Due Process Clause of the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution. Respectfully moves this honorable court to dismiss the indictment due to pre-indictment delay in support. The following is offered. Introduction. The government has, hold on, sorry, y'all. Right here. All right, hold on. Okay. The government has stretched in this case well beyond reasonable limits while attempting to bring an indictment against Mr. McDavid. It tries to criminalize events that allegedly occurred decades in the past. But in the years since these events purportedly occurred, vital pieces of evidence have been lost or destroyed. Key witnesses that have aided Mr. McDavid's defense have died. Worse, the government knew about these same allegations when they allegedly occurred 20 years ago and physically possessed some of the evidence that is now lost to time. Yet, it repeatedly declined to bring any charges for years and waited until the 11th hour to bring a case after substantial pieces of evidence were already lost. As a result, Mr. McDavid is deprived of his constitutional right to prepare and complete defense, and his right to a fair trial. As the law says, justice delayed is justice denied. The legal maxim is in full force here. The indictment must be dismissed because of inexcusable and unnecessary pre-indictment delay. Legal standard. Pull this over here, y'all. Hold on. All right. Legal standard. While the statute of limitations provides the primary safeguard against overtly stale charges, it is not only constitutional protection to a prompt trial and administration of justice. United States versus Marion, 404. Also, that's some more case law. United States versus Henderson, United States versus Sabbath, explaining that the statute of limitations does not fully define defendants' pre-indictment rights. Indeed, the due process clause forbids pre-indictment delays and requires dismissal of the indictment when the pre-indictment delay cause substantial prejudice to the defendant's right to a fair trial. Marion 404. Also, United States versus Spears. So they cite more case law, stating that the due process clause assures that the government does not subject a defendant to an oppressive delay. In fact, the right to prompt and fair justice even predates the Magna Carta and is deeply ingrained in our criminal justice system because it is well-established fact that a trial conducted years after the alleged commission of the offense inevitably suffers from impaired fact finding. Okay, they cite more case law. The court must employ a two-step balancing test to determine if the pre-indictment delay caused Mr. McDavid's due process rights. So y'all, what they're basically saying is that the evidence that McDavid would need to clear his name would be represented by people who have already died. Okay? So he's trying to say, you know what? They should have been came with these charges way before now. The people that can help me defend my client are already dead. This is not fair. We should just throw it out because my guy, there's no way he can have a fair trial when all of the evidence that would help clear his name, that evidence has either been lost in time or the people who have the evidence are dead. That's pretty much what they're saying from what I get. Okay? It says here, first, the defendant must show that the prosecutorial delay caused actual and substantial prejudice to the defendant's right to a fair trial. Okay, they cite more case law. The defendant must show actual and substantial prejudice, not mere speculation. McMortuary 217 F3D. So there's more case law. After this burden, the burden shifts to the government to come forward and provide reasons for the delay. There's more case law. This court then balances the government's reasons against the prejudice suffered by the defendant to determine if the delay violated due process. And the government does not have to act intentionally or in bad faith for this court to find a due process violation. If the prejudice to Mr. McDavid's right to a fair trial outweighs the government's reasons, it does not matter that the government acted intentionally, recklessly, or even negligently. Okay, more case law, United States versus Williams, explaining that the government's unintentional delay may still require dismissing the indictment if the delay is so detrimental to the defendant's case as to be patently unfair. Let's cite more case law. It says, explaining that the core holding SOA is that pre-indictment delay is determined by a balancing test, not a rigid set of fault. United States versus, and they got more case law, noting that the government conceded that a prosecutorial delay incurred in reckless disregard of the circumstances shown to the prosecution would violate due process. So I see what he's trying to do. And he probably should have put this in way earlier than now. I mean, the trial about to start. Trial probably going to start this afternoon. Like, bro, you should have been put this in. Like, just my opinion. You should have been had this in. Okay? Finally, a defendant may establish the prejudice caused by the pre-indictment delay both before and during the trial. They cite more case law. Allowing pretrial motions to dismiss for pre-indictment delay, Marion 404 U.S. at 326, stating that events at trial may demonstrate actual prejudice of pre-indictment delay. For example, in United States versus Gleist, the district court took pretrial motions to dismiss for pre-indictment delay under advisement and ultimately terminated the trial once the prejudice became apparent. They cite more case law. In addition, Rule 48 allows this court to dismiss an indictment if an unnecessary delay occurs in presenting the case to the grand jury or bringing a defendant to trial. They cite more case. Okay. While Rule 48 standard is not circumscribed by the Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial, it is driven by the same general considerations. United States versus Ward. The argument is that the government's delay in prosecuting this case is inexcusable. It has consistently stretched and twisted its allegations to try and bring a case against Mr. McDavid. In particular, the government has bent over backward trying to allege a factual basis for the obstruction of justice conspiracy, the centerpiece of their indictment. That is not barred by the statute of limitations. Still, here's a footnote, Mr. McDavid still contends, as explained in his previous motions, that the charged conspiracy is barred by the statute of limitations, but he will not rehash those arguments here. Okay? So it says here, still, even under the government's theory, it only managed to obtain the indictment with a handful of months remaining on the clock. Nevertheless, the heart of the government's case concerns allegations that occurred decades ago. At its core, Count 5 alleges a conspiracy to create false documents and records in the DFCS investigation occurring in 2000 and a Cook County grand jury occurring 2002, over 20 years prior to the start of this current trial. Docket 93, pages 10 and 11. The most recent false document was alleged created in 2007, over 15 years ago. That was Doggett versus United States. They got that small case law, explaining that the prejudice presumed from the pretrial delay intensifies over time. And over the years, evidence in the government's possession has apparently been lost. Witnesses who would have offered testimony supporting Mr. McDavid's defense have died. The witnesses who will testify undoubtedly will have faded memory of these long past events. See Barker versus Wingo, explaining that there is prejudice when witnesses can no longer accurately recall events in the distant past. And this loss of memory is not always reflected in record because what has been forgotten can rarely be shown. As a result, Mr. McDavid has been stripped of using vital pieces of evidence and witnesses, leaving him an inadequate alternate means of preparing his defense. This cannot and should not be the case. Now, the Supreme Court has long held that a defendant is prejudiced by an excessive and unnecessary pre-indictment delay when he suffers the loss of evidence. Here's another footnote. Notably, four of the five documents, four of the false documents and records were allegedly made even before the underlying obstruction offense, 18 U.S.C. 1519, was even enacted. It says the Supreme Court has long held that a defendant is prejudiced by an excessive and unnecessary pre-indictment delay when he suffers the loss of evidence from death or disappearance of witnesses, destruction of documents, or failure of memory. They cite case law. And this is precisely what Mr. David suffers from here. Over time, the government has apparently lost the original version of video 1, which is essential to count 5. Mr. McDavid needs that actual video to point out things on it that were shown to him before the 2008 trial, things which shaped his knowledge and his beliefs regarding the 2008 and 2002 grand jury, on which the obstruction of justice charge focuses. Furthermore, there were defense documents and evidence held by Robert Kelly's attorneys from the state prior proceedings that have been destroyed in the years after his case ended. Once the 7 years mandated for keeping files and records passed, the documents critical to Mr. McDavid's defense were destroyed. These are documents establishing his relationship to the attorneys on whom he relied on for his beliefs and knowledge about this case. These documents include documentation regarding the obtainment of videos that the government now tries to falsely blame on Mr. McDavid. Not only this, but numerous witnesses have died in the years in between events giving rise to charges and trial in this case. See United States versus Barquette. It says finding actual prejudice. When multiple key witnesses have died during a 4-year pre-indictment delay, one of the most critical witnesses who will undoubtedly be mentioned throughout this trial was Jack Palladino, an investigator. Palladino was present for critical events in this case. He was present for the obtainment of the videotape that the government now falsely claims was received by Mr. McDavid. Palladino could have established that Mr. McDavid received no tape, that he was not even present when the tape was handed over. But because of the decades of delay, Palladino has died before this case was brought. Now, had it been brought in even remotely timely manner, he would have been alive and able to testify. Now, despite the government's claims of prior motions and the original version of video 1 is essential to the obstruction conspiracy charge in count 5, as previously explained in prior motions, the charged false documents and records were created in response to the original version of video 1 that the witnesses were shown in 2002 grand jury. It is only the original version that matters here, for the jury to determine whether the defendants truly believed whether the videos they were allegedly shown had minors in them or not, which is critical to any elevation of whether they obstructed justice. Now, they must be shown the same version of the video that the witness and defendants could have viewed back in 2002. Only then can they fairly and accurately evaluate the reasonableness of the defendant's beliefs about what that video contained. Likewise, the original videos Kelly's defense team used in the prior state proceedings to create reports analyzing the videos and suggesting that they could have been altered are also lost and destroyed. Those items in which Mr. McDavid based his knowledge and beliefs about the video recording at question in the 2002, it's another case law, a little footnote. It says, as this court is aware, video 1 has been subject of one of Mr. McDavid's previous motions where he sought to compel discovery to establish a chain of custody of the video and alternately sought to bar the video due to the lack of authentication. Mr. McDavid understands that this court's ruling on the motions, he still contends and will further establish at trial, however, that the original version is the only version of video 1 that can be shown at trial and that the government still cannot properly authenticate whatever version is currently plan to show. It says those items on which Mr. McDavid based his knowledge and beliefs about video recording in question in the 2002 case are essential to his defense. But after Kelly's case ended in an acquittal, the records were destroyed after the mandated 7-year retention period. Now, these documents, too, would support Mr. McDavid's defense and help prove he did not act with the requisite intent. See Gleist, affirming finding of actual prejudice based on the lost documents and investigative files being scattered among many people in offices. However, they are lost due to time and delay. That was by no means necessary. Palladino, the defense's investigator, would have also offered testimony to reinforce that what these documents show impacted the jury's determination of Mr. McDavid's intent. Now, he was hired to investigate the allegations against Kelly and was present for crucial events that will be hotly contested at this trial. For example, an essential component of the government's case involves an alleged contract to receive a tape by individual B. Palladino was allegedly acting as an agent for Kelly and Mr. McDavid. His attorney would have contradicted individual B, a government cooperator, and a large portion of the case would have hinged on what he said. See, so they cite more case law. Affirming finding that the defendant suffered actual prejudice because he could not recall the events of the offense after the pre-indictment delay. At the same time, this pre-indictment was largely avoidable. The federal government was in actual possession of the original version of video 1 when it first surfaced in the early 2000s. Both Chicago Police Department and FBI reports clearly state that FBI agents viewed and were sent the original VHS tape that contains video 1. And they show where it said that. It says a state witness testified that the original VHS tape was sent to the FBI agent George Skaluba to analyze. And he had sent them back to the state investigators and possibly initialed the tape to confirm the chain of custody. See People versus Kelly. Trial transcript, pages 164 and 65. The testimony also suggests that Skaluba indicated his report that he could not identify Kelly at 139 and 40. Yet now the government contends that they have no way to tell what video that is or if it even exists. Moreover, the indictment alleges that there was another agreement to retrieve a tape that involved individual C and individual D. The government was also aware of this allegation for over a decade. Investigators interviewed individual D about the allegation back in 2008 when she made similar accusations to those alleged in the indictment. Despite being possessing the tape and having known about the allegations for decades, the government declined to bring charges. Indeed, it declined to do so on multiple occasions. See 10/3/2005 FBI, closing the R. Kelly investigation. Closing the case file of new allegations against Kelly. Instead, it did nothing while being fully aware of the allegations and possessing evidence for decades. As a result, they let substantial pieces of evidence get lost to time. Even according to the allegations, nothing has changed. They are the same allegations as they were before. But now, Mr. McDavid has been deprived of significant evidence that he needed to prepare his defense. The prejudice he suffers from due to this pre-indictment delay has deprived him of the right to a fair trial, and it outweighs the reason the government has for such an unnecessary and excessive delay. See Sabbath 990. Dismissed the indictment due to pre-indictment delay because, in spite of the prosecution's knowledge about the circumstances surrounding the investigation, ill-prepared reports, elderly and sick key witnesses, and case agent who passed away, faded memories of the government's own investigative agents, and missing physical evidence, the government consciously delayed seeking an indictment for a mere 4 years. The indictment must be dismissed. Wherefore, the conclusion. Defendant Daryl McDavid respectfully moves this honorable court to dismiss the indictment and enter another equitable relief it deems just under the circumstances. Respectfully submitted, Bo B. Brindley, attorney for Daryl McDavid, and Vadum A. Glosman, attorney for Daryl McDavid. Now, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to just share this, okay? Now, this is my opinion. McDavid got some damn good lawyers. He got some damn good lawyers, okay? Hey, he got a damn good lawyer. So do, what's his name? Brown. That married, that public offender, they know what they doing. I don't know if he put this in at the right time or not. I guess we'll find out. However, I do want y'all to know that, like I said, we are going to get back to reading the transcripts. We will cover this whole case from day one. We will read this information. For anyone that would like to be a part of helping us, give me one moment here. Okay. So if you want to receive a copy of the transcripts, I don't care who you are, donate to the Cash App. When you put the donation in, make sure you attach your email address and put in there for transcripts. If it's a personal, donation you want to give me, like Atmos, boom, you're doing your thing, then make sure you put for you. Okay? When you send that donation, I will send you an email with the transcripts. It will be dated and everything. I always send all the transcripts no matter what. So no matter how many, so appreciate everyone who helps us donate towards getting these. Between me and Diva Divine Light, we will be collecting, putting our money together to make sure that we can make this happen for our people and people that just want to hear the transcripts read, just straight flat out. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have people here that can read with expression, that know what they're talking about. We're going to have discussions, open panels. It's really going to be amazing. There will also be a playlist built to where you can go back and catch up from day one all the way to the end of this trial. It is going to be off the chain. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I would advise you to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, push all, because I am going to be going live at different times whenever stuff hits. Whenever the information comes in, the transcripts come in, we are going to be hitting it hard. Okay, so it's going to be some long days, some long nights, some late nights, but you know what? This is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy bringing y'all the information. Straight, no chaser. I'm sure there's going to be other people reading it also. But, you will be able to come here to get all the transcripts read every single day, every single word, sidebars, everything straight here on this channel. So please be a blessing to donate, and you will get your copy of the transcripts, okay? But y'all, listen, I'm about to go back to work. I just want to jump in here really quick so that I could do this really quick for y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming over here. Thank you all, everybody that hit the like button. I got 150 in here, 70, 50, 153, 78 likes. Okay, I appreciate it. If y'all can get me to at least 100, even y'all that don't like me, you can at least do 100. I would appreciate that, okay? What up, Malik? What up, bro? What's going on? All right, y'all, listen. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for coming over. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.